Welcome back everybody. In this tutorial we're going to take another look at identifying the key data or important data points, but this time in bar charts. Now bar charts, line graphs, even pie charts, generally they're representing the same kinds of information, just visually it looks different. But this information here could very easily be represented in a line chart, but we've just chosen to represent it as bar charts here. So it's the same kind of information, it's just represented visually slightly differently. The main thing to understand, first of all, when you look at any kind of chart or graph is, well, first of all, identifying whether or not your chart is describing change over time. Okay. Now this is very, very easy for you to find out straight away, because if it's describing change over time, one of the elements of your chart, usually the bottom of the graph, there will be dates. In this case we have years, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. On here another example, we just have January, February, March, April, May times. Now you could have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you could have 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. If there is a time element, then your chart is describing change over time. So it's describing how something changes from one time to another, which is very different to the other type of chart, which is called a static chart. We'll come to those in a later tutorial. So if you remember, when it comes to identifying sort of the key data from the previous tutorial, we spoke about identifying the key important elements from a line chart. So the same principles apply here. Okay, so if you remember, we spoke about sort of starting points and end points, but we don't really have a starting point and an end point on a bar chart because there's no line. The line doesn't have a beginning or an end. But we do have starting points because our starting point is 2015 and our end point is 2018. So to help you guys, okay, here's a little thing that you can do. So this is our starting point, and you can perhaps draw a line. Okay, and turn your bar chart into a line graph. So it starts here and it ends here. And you can do the same. So we have a representative of three different pieces of data, A, B and C. Let's do the same for A. Let's turn our bar chart into a line chart. And perhaps as a line chart you can identify the data a little bit more easily. Whereas C goes a bit like this. So we've turned our bar chart into a line chart, which some of you may find easier to understand. But in principle, the information is exactly the same. So we have start and finish point. Okay, so we have a high point here. We have our lowest point on the chart, which is here. Now they're on different lines. So that could be something interesting that we might want to talk about. Particularly here, okay, so we have A, okay, which if we look at A, we can see that there is a significant rise between 2015 to 2017. It rises but then drops. So this is an interesting point here. And the fact that it does that is interesting. I'm not saying it's necessarily key data, it's interesting data. I think one of the things that definitely stands out on this chart, which I did deliberately, was the significance of category B, let's call it. Category B is obviously significantly more and bigger than the rest of them. So it's significant enough for you to point out in your overview of whatever it is you write. Another thing that's interesting is, category C in this case, does almost the exact opposite of A and B. A and B tend to sort of, increase in a sense, whereas C decreases. It starts here finishes here, which is definitely decreasing. So that could be key data or important data. Okay. So yeah, it's really the same principle. You know, you've just got to not be frightened of the chart and get your pen out, okay, and draw all over your chart. Practice doing this. I hope that does help you with bar charts. I always recommend with bar charts, get your pen out and turn your bar chart into a line chart. Most people can seem to be able to understand line charts easier. Yeah. Let's practice with another one. Okay, so here, let's turn our bar chart into a line chart. Very, very simple. And we can do the same here. Yeah, and immediately, because it's a line chart, you can start to see, you know, how big the differences are. You know, this one, you know, category A between January and May accelerates very, very quickly. It starts here and it finishes here. Whereas category B, although we get some acceleration or some increase, okay, it does not accelerate as quickly or as much as category A. So we have the lowest points, we have the highest points, we have start points, we have end points. But like I've said to you, one of the important things for you guys to remember is you're not going to have enough time or enough word count in your essay to write about everything. Okay. Actually, let's just go back to this chart. Obviously, if we're going to add up, you know, let's say add this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, then obviously that is going to be lower, significantly lower than all of these added together. Yeah, and it's very easy to try to roughly add the numbers. You know, we can just roughly draw a line there, draw a line there, draw a line there, another one there, another one there, and so roughly work out what the numbers will be. Yeah, I do the same for category A as well. Roughly try and work out what the numbers will be, and then you can actually compare and contrast those numbers together in your essay. Yeah, but as I was saying, in your essay you will not have enough time or enough word count to write about everything you can identify on the chart. So the rule of thumb is you have to write about more than one key piece of information, but probably less than 5. 5 would be the absolute maximum key piece of information that you would have time to write about in any depth. Yeah. So there you go. How to identify key information from a bar chart, which is change over time. Easiest way to do it is turn your bar chart into a line graph and just follow the same principles.